Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Deportee in custody in relation to killing of homeless men. A suspect who is said to be a deportee is in the custody of the police in relation to the brutal slaying of 4 homeless men in the early hours of Monday. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who provided an update in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, described the killings as the heinous crime that was committed against our homeless Jamaican citizens. He said the suspect is being held based on strong evidence. When I saw the news last Monday morning, like as Jamaicans, I was deeply distraught, Holness said. What has happened yesterday is something that we have to pay close attention to because it would not have been the first time that homeless persons have been attacked in this way, though not in the numbers that it has happened this time, he added. Holness recalled an incident years ago where an individual who he described as the Rage dropped brick onto the heads of 2 homeless men in downtown Kingston. The Prime Minister said the police are now pulling out all the stops to investigate the latest murders. They have 1 suspect in custody, and this is in relation to the 3 homeless persons who were killed downtown Kingston in the Sutton Street area. That person is a deportee, and they do have a suspect with strong evidence in their custody, he said. Holness told the House that while the police have not abandoned the theory that the attacks were coordinated, at present it does not seem that way. Holness said he has been informed by the Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson, that he has increased patrols in the area where homeless people congregate, and the Ministry of Local Government is doing the same. If it is the case that it is a serial event, meaning that there may be more perpetrators planning to do so again, we will be prepared and will probably be able to prevent it from happening, the Prime Minister said. Meanwhile, the government is rushing to put in place another 150 beds at the homeless shelters in downtown Kingston by the end of February. At the same time, Holness noted that some homeless persons prefer to remain on the streets at night rather than utilize the services of the shelter. He said estimates indicate that there are roughly 2,000 homeless people across the country, 500 of whom are residents in the corporate area of Kingston and St. Andrew. 6 homeless men were attacked as they slept on the street of the corporate area between Sunday night and early Monday. All 6 received chop wounds to the head and 4 succumbed to their injuries. 3 of the 6 were killed on Sutton Street in the vicinity of the parish court in downtown Kingston, while 1 was killed in the halfway tree area of St. Andrew. Popular female Canadian promoter stabbed to death in St. Anne. A popular female Canadian events promoter was found with stab wounds inside her room at an apartment complex in Runaway Bay, St. Anne last week. Relatives in Canada suspect that her killer may have been a man she was dating in Jamaica at the time she went to conduct business on the island. The deceased 43-year-old Latoya Alcindor from Canada was found with stab wounds to the upper body at an apartment complex she reportedly rented in Runaway Bay on Thursday, January 21st. The incident is being probed by the St. Anne police, but little information has been forthcoming so far. However, the killing of Alcindor, who was described as a popular figure in the Caribbean community in Toronto, has been making the rounds throughout Canada. According to Canadian media outlet CP24, one of her cousins revealed that Alcindor traveled to Jamaica on December 27, 2020 to pursue some business opportunities and met a friend who she was seeing. The male friend was seen with her on Monday, January 18th, according to her cousin. This led to her expressing the belief that the man may have had something to do with her cousin's killing. We are hoping with the media attention on this case that it will help in finding the person so we can get some answers to her tragic death, the cousin stated. Alcindor, according to her cousin, was a mother of 2 children and was a promoter who invests heavily in making costumes for the Toronto Caribbean Carnival, formerly called Caribana. 3 men shot, 2 fatally in Arnett Gardens. Residents blame cops. A probe has been launched following reports that 3 men were shot, 2 fatally in Arnett Gardens, St. Andrew on Monday. According to residents of the community, the men whose names were not released were shot at the corner of Coley Summit Drive and 9th Street. One of the men was identified as a taxi operator. Some residents in the area have since blamed the police for the shooting. The authorities have, however, refuted the claims and said the victims were standing among others along the roadway at about 5:50 p.m. when men drove up in a motor car and opened fire, hitting members of the group. The injured persons were rushed to hospital, where 2 were pronounced dead. On Monday night, a group of angry residents, including a woman who said she was the mother of one of the deceased, had gathered at the scene of the shooting. The distraught woman had a different story and claimed the police had killed her son innocently as he had not committed any offense. She said he was returning home from reporting to the police station when he was fatally shot. 3 men arrested after cops make gun seizure in St. Elizabeth. The Santa Cruz police arrested 3 men following the seizure of a 10mm Glock 29 pistol and a magazine containing 1 round of ammunition along New River Main Road, Santa Cruz in St. Elizabeth on Sunday, January 24. Reports are that about 11:45 p.m., the lawmen were conducting vehicular checkpoint operations when they signaled a white Honda Civic motor vehicle to stop. A search of the motor vehicle was conducted and the firearm and ammunition found in the consoled area between the 2 front seats. The suspects were subsequently taken into custody. However, their identities are being withheld pending further investigation. 8 schools impacted by COVID, says Williams. 8 of the 216 schools that were approved for face-to-face classes have been impacted by suspected or confirmed cases of COVID-19, the Minister of Education, Favour Williams, has shared. Williams, who was making a statement in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, said 4 of the 7 regions, 1, 2, 5, and 7, were affected. To date, there are no suspected cases of COVID-19 in regions 3, 4, and 6, Williams added. In Region 1, which is comprised of Kingston and St. Andrew, the Penwood High School and Donald Quarry High were the institutions affected. Williams explains that Donald Quarry High had a suspected case of a student being infected with the coronavirus, which was later confirmed by a positive test. The school was closed on January 21st for sanitization and psychosocial intervention, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness had advised that the school should remain closed until it has completed contact tracing. Williams told the House that Penwood High had a staff member who tested positive, resulting in the closure of the school for deep sanitization. The school will reopen for face-to-face classes on February 1. All individuals who came in contact with the positive case have been quarantined. In Region 2, which comprises St. Mary, St. Thomas, and Portland, the St. Mary High School has delayed its reopening plans after a senior member of the administrative leadership team was exposed to the virus. The staff member has since been quarantined. This member's spouse tested positive, and the board decided to delay the reopening for a later date, Williams said. In Region 5, which is made up of Manchester and St. Elizabeth, 4 cases of COVID-19 were reported, 1 at Sydney Pagan High, 1 at Fullerwood Primary and Infant School, and 2 cases involving parents at Monroe College. A student at Sydney Pagan High tested positive for COVID-19 on January 13th, after which the school was closed. It is scheduled to reopen on February 1 following sanitization and psychosocial activities. Fullerswood reported a teacher testing positive for the coronavirus, and the school was closed on January 14th. The school was reopened on January 20th following deep cleaning, said Williams. As it relates to Monroe College, the Ministry of Health and Wellness informed that 2 parents of students who traveled to school tested positive for COVID-19. As such, face-to-face learning has been suspended for the students who travel to school until the contact tracing, sanitization, and psychosocial activities are completed. These students have resumed remote learning activities. Face-to-face will continue for boarders, Williams shared. She said that as a matter of caution, the Ministry of Health and Wellness has notified Monroe and Hampton that the students or boarders who have left for the weekend must be quarantined upon return for 14 days before they are allowed to re-engage to face-to-face activities. Meanwhile, Region 7, which covers the parish of Clarendon, reported 2 schools being closed, where Technical High and Kemps Hill High, due to a positive case and increased cases of community spread respectively. Where Technical halted face-to-face operations on January 4th after a member of its auxiliary staff tested positive for the coronavirus. The school was subsequently sanitized on January 15 and 18. Psychosocial activities are ongoing while remote learning resumed. Kemps Hill High is closed due to the increased number of positive COVID-19 cases within the communities where the students reside. Based on consultations with the parish health inspectors, both Kemps Hill and Vere Technical are scheduled for reopening on February 1, the Education Minister said. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.